Hello guys, NautoAis, and this will be another giving my thoughts on Kit and Krysta's podcast, especially about Amiibo's 20th anniversary. Yeah, so if you're following my channels, I do talk about Amiibo, especially when suddenly my mind was changed when the situation Amiibo, and I'll probably talk about that a little bit later on. The story that Kit and Krysta said about the Amiibo, a lot of the tidbit, the untold story, and the situation why in 2015 a lot of Amiibo fans were getting agitated, it does start to make sense. And to some extent, most people kind of understand why Nintendo kind of did an Amiibo, and I'll give my thoughts about that. So, of course, the elephant in the room, let's talk about the situation in 2015, the Amiibo, the stock problem, the scalpers, the hot item, just in social media, people are just pissed. Even so, the thing is selling like hotcake because, well, whether you like it or not, in 2015, Amiibos were a hot item. And if it's a hot item, a lot of people want it. You stand in line. It's a common thing. And like, credit to Irate Gamer when I watched one of his video about the Amiibo, that in the 80s, it was the same thing with Kenner's Star Wars to some extent. Those 5-point articulation figure, they were so popular that people were fighting for. And of course, as of right now in 2025, Pokemon card, because I think they released a special bundle where you get all 150 original Pokemon cards, and people at Costco were fighting it like idiots. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, the solution is just have an overstock, but that's a different story. Anyway, so my thoughts about the Amiibo situation. So, Kit and Krysta told the story of what happened. So first of all, why did Amiibo basically was created? Because it was a time where the Wii U wasn't selling, Nintendo were losing money. So Iwata was trying to find a solution to expand the IP, to have that third pillar, the non-video game IP exposure to the general consumer. And he said, let's do Amiibo. Let's have figurines that people recognize, and then hopefully the general consumer, not the Amiibo fans. So again, you're going to have two target audience, might recognize it and they might buy it. Nintendo exposure. So that's the whole reason with the Amiibo. And of course, in a financial report in May 2014, they showed what it is. So it's sort of a Skylander-ish, but the difference is that the functionality is not going to be like it's for one game, like Skylander, Disney Infinity, or Lego Dimension. It was like you can use them to unlock stuff instead, which kind of makes sense. I mean, there are some games to some extent that it kind of have a Amiibo feature. Two games that on the Wii U that they offered was Greatest Amiibo Tap, where you scan an Amiibo and you unlock a trial version of a virtual console game. It'll be randomized. It's kind of stupid, but again, they're just trying to find a way to justify getting an Amiibo. The second one was a sort of a Donkey Kong versus Mario puzzle game where you use your stylus to control the robotic. So there's like an Amiibo version of that, which if you don't have an Amiibo, there is a default robot. But if you have a certain Mario Amiibo, you can use like a Donkey Kong, Wario, Rosalina, Mario, Luigi, etc., etc., etc. So, sort of to some extent that they did have some sort of like specific game for an Amiibo. And during the Wii U era, believe it or not, it probably just a far-fetched rumor up the butt, and that there was a rumor that Nintendo was considering doing an actual Skylander type Amiibo game where you use an Amiibo like a Skylander and you use them in a game. I mean, it could be like a Skylander-ish type of game, but then, of course, that's just copying Skylander. And, you know, Nintendo, just like the achievement, they don't copy someone. It has to be a bit different. That's why the functionality with Amiibo was a bit different than Skylander. And I hate to say it, it does work better, in my opinion, about it. But it is what it is there. That's the sort of the history of the Amiibo, why it was created. They needed to find a way to make money and more exposure to the general audience. The target audience they want were the casual who are out-tuned to Nintendo to say, oh, I know that figure. It's a Mario. Oh, I know that yellow mouse. Pikachu. Oh, green tunic. Link, etc., etc., etc. That's what. But your real audience are the one who likes Nintendo figurines, probably collects them. They don't open them. They're weirdos. I know. I open mine, like I said. They don't even use the functionality, and they just want to collect them all because, just like myself, probably sick in the head. That's your real audience, and they would buy that. They would even buy two. But they did not anticipate a lot of the situation, and here's why. So first of all, the sort of why did I end up changing my mind? Oh, I like this Amiibo. So when I got the Mario Amiibo first, when Super Smash Bros. Wii U came out, I did notice that how come I don't see the Villager, I don't see Wii Fit Trainer, I don't see Mart. And a lot of people were asking the retailer, and they keep just saying that this is what we got, and some of them were gone, we don't know. And later on, we didn't understand like what's going on with the stock at the time, but said, okay, whatever. And then later on, somebody from GameStop, the story was that they got a memo from a GameStop executive that said, oh, by the way, certain amiibo is not going to get restocked. So they even create, that's why people call it the Holy Trinity, which is Mart, Wii Fit Trainer, and Villager. And what happened, what they said was that the belief is the report from Nintendo, and I don't know if it's really from Nintendo, but that's what the belief from GameStop said, that once those particular amiibo gone, they're done, no restock. Like, wait, that doesn't make sense because Hasbro doesn't do that, Mattel doesn't do that. What the heck, why Nintendo would do something like that? And at the time, even in myself, like, I don't understand what Nintendo doing. So there were no restock, there were limited production. And to a point that scalper was coming in, like, what the heck's going on? In 2015, a lot of people couldn't even get in at launch. There wasn't there's not even like an exact date where to release because, according to Kit and Krysta, they didn't even know how to handle it. So here's the story of what happened. That I'm gonna do a point what Kit and Krysta said about the amiibo. First of all, yes, they did the amiibo because they needed to make money. Makes sense. So how come it was so hard to get certain amiibo? How come they're restocking certain amiibo? Because Kit Krysta, in the perspective of PR, they're trying to market the amiibo, again, to the general consumer. The sales team, their job is, amiibo gotta sell. When it sells, great. We make money, great. The end. So technically what happened is, it's something new to Nintendo, makes sense because they're not a toy company anymore. That was in 1889. They used to be a toy company, and I'm gonna assume the people who work in that timeline, that time era, are retired or, they pass away. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to touch that, but you get my idea. If you want to know about the history of Nintendo, go to a Nintendo museum. They do have some sort of history. They do display a lot of those Nintendo toys. But it is what it is. Yes, there used to be a Nintendo toy company. Not anymore. So they're trying to get back to the quote-unquote toy business with amiibo. What happened is that Nintendo didn't realize about allocation space. So apparently each retailer have a certain allocated space, and it kind of makes sense now because when I used to complain to Nintendo, hey, you can't really be dickish about this. You can't just say, oh, these amiibo sell, so you're going to do more, while the lesser one, you got to treat all those IP equally. And the response a lot of people get, whether you're a journalist or not, is, well, they have limited space and we have to just pay for what space they offer us, etc., etc., etc. And it is true that according to them, Target, Walmart, Toys R Us at the time, etc., 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 they do have a certain space to display the amiibo. And the problem also sometimes is, how much do the retailer want to get those amiibo to put them in their stock? And for the business side, they only want an amiibo that's going to guarantee sell. So if you're going to put an amiibo that nobody give a crap, so say Captain Falcon or Villager, they're probably not going to put a lot of those because nobody gives a shit about it. And it's just going to be taking up space and collecting dust to some extent. And in a different video, I'm going to be talking about the Animal Crossing amiibo because, like Kit and Krysta said, it was a point where, okay, you went too far. You're trying to do Animal Crossing amiibo, and especially to some reason amiibo cards. The amiibo fans or the casual don't give a shit about it, and it is what it is. So gist of it is, when they released the amiibo for the Animal Crossing series, nobody gave a shit to a point that you can buy them in the bargain bin. It is what it is. In the game Amiibo Festival Animal Crossing, they wanted an amiibo game functionality with an Animal Crossing on the Wii U, and I can tell you the game is shit. I mean, it's really shit. It's not fun. There's no online feature. Nobody's gonna play that, and I have no friends that likes to play that game, if you know what I mean. And I did do a FOMO, but that's a different story there. So anyway, back to the actual amiibo story. The reason why it's so hard to get certain amiibo, because the sales team, they're just being told, hey, just keep sending amiibo and they move on. Because apparently that's what Kit said, that what's happening for them, their main objective was, okay, amiibo's done, they sell, let's move on to the next one. Because the waves were within 2 to 3 months, and like I said in my second channel, I've been talking about that experience and how sometimes it's irritating because it's perspective of Nintendo in the business side. Okay, just keep rolling that wheel. Turn and burn. Okay, the stock is gone, the wave is gone, whatever. We're not going to restock. New wave, gotta sell. We just gotta sell them. Money. To a point that Kit and Krysta, at the time they were PR, the market team, sort of having a butting head with the sales team because they're saying, hey, what's your solution for restocking them? What do you do? And the sales team said, hey, you know what? The amiibo are selling. That's all that matters. We can't really do anything about the stocks. It's not really our department. Hey, it's selling. We're making money. Let's move on. Like, that's all the sales team are. And then the market is like, oh my gosh. Because like I said, in the case with the Animal Crossing amiibo, they even asked him, hey, can you do some sort of marketing with them? And Krysta said, no, I don't want to. They're crap. Because that's what happened. Again, those are, I think, when the Animal Crossing amiibo came out, they're like, yeah, I think we went too far. Because the Splatoon one sort of sell, it was popular, but like a lot of those amiibo, they were hard to get to some extent because of the restock. Because to some extent, according to Kit, that because they were only focusing that what sells and doesn't. If an amiibo doesn't sell that much, it's not popular, we're not going to do a restock. But of course, in 2016 and beyond, they did fix that. So, okay, what's the deal with the sale? How come the retailer's not doing anything about it? There were scalper. Because the thing that Iwata admitted, he said that he did not anticipate with a scalper. Because they did mention it before that in the beginning, he did not think that amiibo was going to sell. It was just something. And then he realized, oh, shoot, it's a hot item. So they're trying to figure it out. And they did not anticipate with the scalper. I think that's what happened. So a lot of people did say that, well, why can't Nintendo tell the retailer how to sell the amiibo? And the answer to that one is, and I think it kind of makes sense within the business law, is that according to Kit, legality, they really can't dictate how to sell the amiibo to the retailer. The minute the retailer purchases an amiibo, and again, here's the 101 to some extent, how it works is that they don't give it away, those like any product, and hopefully they get something back, like money. No. How it works is that the retailer will purchase certain amount of product, whether it's amiibo, games, or whatever, and how many allocation they're gonna get, that's up to them. And the minute the retailer has them, it's on their own. They do whatever they want, how they sell it. And again, whether you like it or not, it's the first sales law rule. In the US, that's actually a rule. When someone purchases a product legally and they follow the proper channel, whatever that particular product, they can do whatever they want with it. Either scalp it, sell it, gift it, play with it, whatever. It's within the consumer or the retailer in this case. And Nintendo couldn't really do anything about it. That's why even to one point that Kit said, hey, can we do something? Can we give them some sort of suggestion what to do? And the sales team kept saying like, no, legality is that we can't do anything about it. The minute the retailer got the product, they're on their own. So it's up to the retail to do whatever they want. That's why there was even a story that at Target they had to do this system. And then I did tell the story before that pissed me off. But spoiler, I got all the amiibo for that wave. Is that on August, September, Wave 5 for the Smash Bros. Amiibo, I was there at Target like 1 hour early to wait for it. And then they didn't do the system. Other Target did because I was talking to other people when I went to Toys R Us to get Bowser and Ganondorf. And the exclusive, but I'll talk about that later. And they said what happened was that the person was in charge was on its 2 weeks. So the person was about to quit anyway. And the person really didn't give a damn about it because here's the thing. I had talked to a lot of retailers that I know, Target, Walmart, Best Buy, because there was even at Walmart, I did talk about store, and I was trying to make a conversation with a Walmart retailer about Amiibo, and this person was just keep saying the same response, because at one point, trying to just get some info, like, hey, dude, how long did it last, whatever, just kind of some sort of insight, and the guy just keeps saying, we don't have any Amiibo. Can we talk about the thing? I know you don't have any Amiibo. Can we talk about another thing? No, we don't have any Amiibo. And I'm like, I'm not asking you that. Can we talk like two people? No, we don't have Amiibo. And then I even like, sir, are you trying to make me angry? I'm just trying to make a conversation with you. He said, sir, unfortunately, we don't have an Amiibo. And then to a point that I even said like, well, okay, here's the question. Can we talk about Amiibo? Do you talk about Amiibo? And he said, sir, no. So you get the idea. I did talk about it before. I remember that some idiot Walmart retail, and probably the person just didn't give a shit about it. And yeah, that was pissing me off that at one point, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to punch him in the face, but that was in the past. But the point I'm trying to say is that there are some retailer, even employee, are pissed. They don't like the amiibo, or they hate dealing with hot item because in the perspective of a retail, an employee, it stressed them out. Because there have been situations when, of course, the story about the exclusive, because according to Kit, once again, the story about that one is that the solution for the stock, because again, like they can't put every amiibo in certain retail because they'll have a small space. Let's make it exclusive. That didn't work. Like there was even a story with the Golden Mario and Walmart exclusive that somebody got stabbed for a Golden Mario amiibo. Yeah, that's not a joke. I would not go that far. But yes, I was like, oh boy. I remember the NES Amiibo was a GameStop exclusive to a point that their server crashed and it took a while just to basically went back online. And NES Amiibo was very rare. But of course, spoiler, when a restock came, they were just easy to get. But the whole point is they're trying to do FOMO, and yes, Nintendo actually do FOMO. So anyway, back to my story about the Target one. Is that I did talk to someone about that, and they did say because the person was in charge was on its 2 weeks, person didn't give a care. And like I said, the majority of retailer don't give a shit about amiibo. They just say they don't want to talk about it, think about it. They probably hate their job. It is what it is. And yeah, in 2015, like I said, I talked to some retail store employees, some of them that I know admitted, they said they didn't want to talk about it. Like, oh shit, here we go. Because again, in the perspective of Nintendo, they just want to basically sell the amiibo. They just go sell. That's it. Like, oh, I just want to sell that amiibo. That's it. Yeah, and of course, like I said, the scalper thing too. Yeah, I think I already mentioned that. But anyway, so there you go. The backstory about what happened in 2015, that the amiibo situation, why so hard, and that employee hates it. And I even almost forgot, even other business, believe it or not, because there was so long line that a lot of the other businesses, like I remember one in Toys R Us in my local area, a lot of the small businesses will get pissed. Hey, can you not block my store? People can't go in because it's hurting my business. Even to some extent, when I was waiting for my retro 3-pack, against an employee even had to keep apologizing to the other business. Hey, sorry, we have a hot item. Like, they couldn't really do anything about it because it was a hot item. People were standing in line. That it was crazy that there was even stores that heard that small businesses were trying to sue Nintendo or whatever retailer that had the amiibo. But of course, nothing happened, because from what I understand, that someone did say that someone did try to sue Nintendo, and they said, well, it's not Nintendo's fault. They created a hot item. What do you expect? I mean, it is what it is. It's just business 101. Yeah, Nintendo did apologize in the long run about it, even though they're trying to sell Nintendo Amiibo. Because there was even a story where in social media, people were trying to promote Amiibo, and people were like, yeah, screw you, go to hell, Nintendo. And again, it goes back to Kit Krysta said that because the sales team were just doing their job, which is sell the Amiibo. Kit Krysta, who used to work at PR and Nintendo, said they were just told, market the Amiibo, keep marketing them. That's all it is. That ignore the noise, ignore the complaint, just keep selling them for the casual. But, I mean, Kit Krysta sort of said, the PR to some extent that, yeah, it's kind of hard now. It's a checkpoint about the Amiibo. First of all, it was a hot item. Iwata didn't know. They did it because they needed to make money because the Wii U wasn't selling. If the Wii U was a hot item like the Switch, they probably wouldn't do an Amiibo. Just saying, I agree with Krista said. In the what if scenario, if the Wii U was successful, chances are they probably wouldn't do an Amiibo. I mean, it is what it is. And so restock, they didn't know about it because they have no knowledge of how to do toys, how to do restock. All they're focused on is sell. That's really it. And then the scalper, they didn't anticipate it. And it took them a long time to understand how it works. I think there was even rumor that they even had to hire product expert, toy expert, whatever, on how to deal with this. Because again, remember, Nintendo, even so their Nintendo's a toy electronic device, they're not into the business of toys. That they had a call for like expertise. Again, rumor, I don't know if it's true. But there you go. So yeah, it is an interesting untold story of Amiibo with Kit and Krysta. If you have a time, check out their podcast, because they do a lot of insight about Nintendo, because they used to work for Nintendo as PR. Remember, they're the host of Nintendo Minute. So, if you're wondering why they left, I think they said was due to relocation concern. Because at one point, there was Nintendo headquarters in San Francisco. They told them it was going to shut down. So either you relocate to Washington or just, take your leave. It is what it is, but that's a different business story there. So anyway, with that, I'm going to be talking about also another tidbit about Amiibo, the backstory, what it came out, the name, the idea, and especially this is an interesting one for my opinion. Kit and Krysta's experience when they first saw the prototype of Amiibo. Let's just say they were like scared shit, because they were specialist people who very protective with the Amiibo, but understand why in the long run, key point, prototype, lots of money, cost, and they were so scared even touching or doing anything, because if something goes wrong, that's down the drain. A lot of the backstory, tidbit, even what the name is, even kind of makes sense now. So that'll be a different video there. So with that, I'll see you guys later.